City Morning Show.
Notice the residents of
Muy buenos días, compañeros, y bienvenidos todos a esta edición del Sugar City Morning Show. Y hoy no es lunes, hoy es viernes aún. Nada más un recordatorio, porque y hoy es día de trabajo, nada más porque muchas personas están que estoy cansado, todavía me siento mal, que todavía la goma me está partiendo todo. Es día de trabajo, compañeros. Levantaos y trabajáis. Y hoy es un día nuevo, hoy ha amanecido, hoy ha salido el sol y ya la fiesta ha terminado. Ya es tiempo para salir a chambear y hacer lo mejor con que Dios nos ha dado. Good morning and welcome to today's edition of the Sugar City Morning Show. Today is Friday the 22nd of September and today is a regular work day, at least for most of us, as far as I know, for all of us. And today is Friday, today is not a Monday. And yes, for some people, they are praying for 5 o'clock to give so that they can continue with the party. I know as much because I have some friends who are exactly that way. Welcome to today's edition of the morning show. It's exactly 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. And as always, we begin our program with a prayer. Today is no exception. Hoy no es ninguna excepción quizás a esta tradición, porque en los últimos años hemos empezado este programa con nuestra oración, dándole gracias a nuestro poder superior, a nuestro Dios por todo. Porque pudimos unirnos como país a celebrar. Porque tuvimos la oportunidad de poder ver a nuestras amistades, a nuestros familiares, algunos de nosotros, y poder celebrar nuestra independencia. Poder celebrar la solidaridad entre nosotros mismos y poder ver el camino hacia adelante. Compañeros, les pido unirse conmigo en esta oración. Padre, te doy las gracias por todo. Te doy las gracias por la vida, la salud, las fuerzas, porque ayer pasamos un bonito día, sin mayor violencia. Gracias, Padre. Te pido que continúes bendiciéndonos. Te pido que al país de Belice lo cuides. Nos guíes a nuestros líderes. Que tomemos las decisiones que son buenas para el bien de la gente. Que podamos hacer a un lado la corrupción. Que podamos traer a aquellas personas que quieren invertir dinero al país de Belice. Poder ver nuestro país desarrollar. Poder ver que nuestra gente, su nivel de vida se eleve. Poder ver que no tengamos que pasar por pobrezas. Poder ver que todavía aún con todo eso, podemos mantener nuestra identidad y mantener nuestra tradición y nuestra cultura y no perderla. Padre, te doy gracias por todo lo que haces por nosotros. Te pido que continúes bendiciéndonos a nuestros familiares, compañeros de trabajo, nuestras amistades, a todos, en fin, que se unen a esta oración, a este momento. Te pido, como siempre, por los ancianos, por los niños y las niñas que andan por las calles, con hambre, descalzos. Te pido por aquellas personas que están por las calles caminando sin saber dónde van. Te pido, Padre, por los enfermos, por los que están en los hospitales, por los que están en las cárceles. Te pido por todas las personas que tienen una necesidad u otra. Te pido por todos nosotros, Padre. Bendícenos hoy. Permítenos hoy tener éxito en lo que hagamos, siempre conscientes de mantener nuestra compostura y no enojarnos. Permítenos hoy, Padre, poder ser amables, poder ser más generosos, más sensibles a las necesidades de otra persona y poder ver por algunos de nosotros más allá del yo, más allá de simplemente lo que yo pienso, lo que yo digo, lo que yo hago, más allá de eso y empezar a pensar que el mundo no circula alrededor de nosotros y que no es posible que tengamos la razón todo el tiempo, porque eso nos mata. El pensar de que nunca perderé una discusión porque yo soy listo, porque yo soy inteligente. Y más pensamos eso, más tontos somos, porque no abrimos nuestra mente a otras formas de pensar. Padre, te bendecimos, te glorificamos, te adoramos siempre. Amén. Good morning. If you've just joined us, today is the 22nd day of September. If you're celebrating a birthday, have a blast today. If you're celebrating an anniversary, pretty much the same way. Whatever reason you have to celebrate, keep it safe, but have yourself a darn good old time. This is the general weather forecast for today, Friday, the 22nd of September. And the general situation for today is generally fair and warm conditions will prevail. And the 24-hour forecast, mostly sunny today and partly cloudy tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be generally isolated, except for a few more over inland areas this afternoon and over the south tonight and tomorrow morning. The winds blowing from the east-northeast at 5 to 50 knots. The sea state, a light chop. The temperatures along the coast, a max of 89 degrees Fahrenheit, a low of 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Inland, a maximum of 94 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 74. And in the hills, 81 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. There are no advisors in place, and just quickly, if I can go to the National Hurricane Center. There is Jose by the New England area, but it's already what is called post-tropical, and it is forecast to be going into the Atlantic, affecting some areas of the Nova Scotia province. And then there's Maria, still at 125 miles per hour, and but not forecast to present a threat to any of the other islands. At the moment, it's forecast to go into the mid-Atlantic and take the same route as Jose, and thankfully not present a threat to anybody. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be any other developments. And ladies and gentlemen, it is with much happiness that I tell you that we don't have any threats at the moment. We will be, however, advising you, because with such an active season, when conditions are so right for the formation of hurricanes, it's very possible and even probable that come the month of October and November, we may have some development in the area. I hope to God that none of these come around, but that they will, they will. The outlook for Saturday and Saturday night is mainly fair weather to prevail, with only isolated showers or thunderstorms developing. There will be a high tide today at 11:23, a low tide at 5:26 this afternoon, followed by a second high tide tonight at 11:18, followed by a second low tide tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun sets today at 5:49, and the sun rises at 5:42 tomorrow morning. And in much the same manner, the moon is rising within 30 minutes at 7:45, and the moon setting today at 7:48 later this evening. We want to thank forecaster Sheena Young for this information, and all those other people working at the National Met Service. Good morning and thank you very much. Buenos días, compañeros. Un gran gusto saludarles hoy por la mañana. Hoy es viernes, el 22 de septiembre, y si es que estás cumpliendo años o si tienes una razón legítima o no legítima para, como sea el caso, para tener una fiesta, que la pases bien. Hoy condiciones buenas y calurosas van a controlar nuestro país de Belice. Demos gracias que ayer tuvimos un día espléndido, un día precioso que permitió que tengamos nuestro carnaval, nuestro desfile de independencia sin tener ninguna lluvia. Fue un día precioso ayer. Hoy, puesto para lo mismo, y hoy estará bastante soleado durante el curso del día, parcialmente nublado por la noche. Vamos a ver chubascos o tormentas, pero estas estarán generalmente aisladas, excepto sobre las áreas del interior hoy por la tarde, donde veremos quizás unos cuantos chubasquitos, pero no se define exactamente dónde en el interior. Y entonces sobre el sur, hoy por la noche y mañana por la mañana. Los vientos del este-noreste de 5 a 15 nudos. El estado del mar ligeramente agitado. Las temperaturas por la costa, una máxima de 89, una mínima de 81. En el interior, una máxima de 94 y una mínima de 74. Y por las colinas, una máxima de 81 y una mínima de 68. Todo Fahrenheit. No hay ninguna advertencia y, como dije hace momentos en inglés, al momento no hay ningún sistema que presente una amenaza al país de Belice. Al momento, gracias a Dios, estamos libres de todo tipo de amenazas. Les quiero decir simplemente que José ya es post-tropical, quiere decir que ya está fuera del área de desarrollo del trópico. Y entonces le presentan una amenaza simplemente a lo que son los corredores marítimos. Es más, esas áreas donde hay barcos, sí es posible que se eleven las mareas y que... pero amenaza, digamos, a un país o a una gente, gracias a Dios, no. Y igual con María, que ya le hizo 1,5 número a Puerto Rico. Todavía ciertas partes de Puerto Rico están sin electricidad y sin agua. Mantengámoslos en nuestras oraciones porque esa gente ha pasado un tiempo difícil. No solo México, no solo Houston, no solo Miami, también Puerto Rico y también Cuba y también las islas pequeñas esas que muchas veces por no saber suficiente de ello no está presente en nuestros pensamientos. Yo le pidiera a las agencias de noticias que por favor nos mantengan más informados acerca de esos países, especialmente sobre Cuba, que ha pasado un tiempo difícil con María. María también está por el área de las Bahamas, pero puesto para ir al Atlántico abierto. Gracias a Dios por eso, porque entonces no le presenta ninguna amenaza a ningún otro país al momento. Y rápidamente diciendo de que el mes de octubre y noviembre son típico para el que los huracanes se formen aquí cerca de nosotros, en vez de en la costa de África. Y hay que tener el ojo al Cristo, porque ahora empieza lo que es la temporada de los huracanes que se forman aquí cerca, y aquellos con la llegada de la bajada más bien, de los frentes fríos que empiezan en octubre, ya luego no van al norte y forzadamente tienen que venir al oeste. Y ahí está el problema. Ahí está, justamente. Y esos mismos frentes de frío, cuando bajan, como son sistemas de baja presión, ahí se quedan en el mar Caribe y esos entonces se regeneran y forman una tormenta y se van para subir otra arriba. Es un área bastante dinámica y hay que seguir con el ojo al Cristo. Compañeros, el ojo al Cristo, porque es probable que octubre y noviembre sean bastante activos también. Ojalá y no. Se espera que sábado y sábado por la noche tengamos buen tiempo con chubascos aislados simplemente y tormentas aisladas desarrollándose. Una marea alta hoy a las 11:23 por la mañana, una marea baja a las 5:26 hoy por la tarde, otra marea baja a las 11:18 por la noche y otra marea baja a las 6 de la mañana. El sol se oculta hoy a las 5:49, el sol sale mañana a las 5:42 y la luna de igual forma se oculta a las 7:48 y sale a las 7:45. Salió en realidad, sale a las 7:45 y se oculta a las 7:48 hoy por la noche. Perdón por ese error. Compañeros, son las 7:21. Vamos a una pausa, pero estaremos de vuelta con ustedes tan pronto estos anuncios. Tenemos mucho que platicar.
Notice to residents of rural communities in Orange Walk and Corozal districts. If you value your health and your children's health, you will dispose of your garbage only at approved sites. The disposal of garbage at any other location is illegal, and if caught, you can be fined up to $5,000. If you don't get caught, you can still suffer health impacts caused by these illegal sites, because illegal dump sites harbor pests such as rodents, possums, and mosquitoes that carry diseases. These can transmit those diseases to you and your children. In addition, the garbage you throw away illegally can contaminate water bodies near your community, the same water bodies you might use for recreation or other purposes. Only with your help can the Department of Environment ensure that Belize's development is safe for present and future generations. You can also contact your local village councils or Belize Solid Waste Management Authority for more information. The Department of Environment thanks you for your help.
Believe it's celebration time. August 31st and September 1st are the start of the September celebration with Frankie Reynolds' Timeless Motown Memories concert at the Bliss Center. The Carnival King and Queen competition follows at the Marion Jones Stadium on September 2nd. On September 9th, take to the streets at 5 a.m. for Carnival Juve and then rinse and repeat the revelry at 1 p.m. for the Carnival Road March through Belize City. On the 10th day of September, it is the St. George's Ski Day ceremony and Citizens Parade. The premier steel bands come together at the Marion Jones Stadium for the Pan Yard concert on the 16th. On the 20th, the night comes alive at 9 p.m. with the official flag raising ceremony, music and fireworks display at the Memorial Park. And on the 21st, it is the Independence Day ceremony and uniform parade. Believe, confronting challenges, celebrating triumphs, renewing or resolve.
Everybody wants a clean and healthy family. That's why they purchase the best food products and the cleansing materials. This time, we give you a bigger size of La Costeña products like the mouth-watering fried beans and the pasta sauce. And surely for your clean laundry, we have the breathtaking aroma of Ensueño Max Suavitel. Even your visitors will ask what you clean your floors and restrooms with. And you can boast it is the variety of Pinol products and Sultan Muriatic acid now in 900 milliliters. And much more for the best prices only at German Vega and Sons Imports. We serve you at number 5 San Antonio Road, Orange Walk Town. You can even call us at 322-3625 or 322-2672. Or you can even send us a fax at 322-2571 or email us at germanvega@btl.net. German Vega and Sons Limited, because we care for you.
A&R Stores Countrywide announced the arrival of name brand school bags in all colors, design and sizes, stationery supplies, composition books, lunch bags, laptops, tablets, watches and everything else you will need for this new school year. So take time out and have your pick out of the largest variety of durable school bags in the country. They are also pleased to announce the arrival of a wide assortment of housewares like sterilite plastic containers in different sizes, glassware, kitchen utensils, cooking pots and pans, and beautiful floral arrangements. And if you need to redo your bathroom or your bedroom, visit them for the most beautiful bath mat sets, ready-made curtains in beautiful colors and designs, lights and mirrors, bed sheets for twin, full, queen and king size beds, plus comfortable pillows and beautiful comforters to match. And best of all, it is always the excellent service and the low prices that make the difference at A&R. So come visit our stores in Orange Walk, Corozal, Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio and now in Dangriga for the best in housewares and school supplies at the guaranteed best prices in town. A&R, where our prices make the difference.
Ever since Digicel doubled all their prepaid data plans, things looking a little strange around here. My sister seems to think she's some sort of a celebrity now, that she has all this data to post everything. My dad keeps starting these do-it-yourself projects. There's a lot of online ventures. Even Nana loads all the extra data. He chats a lot on his dating sites. Mom is always finding new recipes from all over the world to try on YouTube.
We got the show is on.
Digicel's newly doubled prepaid data plans let everyone be free to do so much more.
The bigger, better network. Digicel.
It's a distinct pleasure to bid you good morning, to greet you this beautiful day here in Orange Walk, the 22nd day of September. Normally referred to me as the day after, because the day after all the jamming and all the fun that most of the time you prefer to keep in bed. But today is a working day. It is my pleasure to greet this morning and to welcome Mr. Robert Checky Usher to the show.
Yes, good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning. ¿Cómo estás?
Up to
You
the
must be tired, but nonetheless you were here early this morning. Can you play Wednesday or play Thursday or play? You play. Good Lord, you playing tonight as well?
I want chill tonight. And I play on work.
Yeah. Well, we're playing the band then.
Yes, we are travel today. But I play Wednesday, I play Thursday, and I play Thursday.
Okay, so you did that too. I know the last weekend you did a number as well.
Yeah. But you talk about the day after. But every day that the day before and the day after. How you see that?
True.
But Emmanuel, it's a wonderful day, a wonderful thing that has happened. We have witnessed, and everybody has been part of the 36th anniversary of Belize's independence. Even if you never got no party, you never got to participate in any activity, then you are a part of the celebration and the anniversary of our 36th birthday Belize.
I would like to take this time out to congratulate and to thank all the participants of the parade yesterday. I think that from my point of view, from my vantage point, place where I was watching, it was a very nice parade. It was one of the more notable things was that it was much more fun than last year, at least from my perspective. The music was much, much better than last year and the one before, because one of the things which I detested couple, 2-3 years or maybe even more was you have all these people with all these ganas and a sound system that failed miserably. Miserably. And thank God some of these people are not back in the parade, because if your system not good, it's not good.
Still.
Stay simple, straight. I'm very thankful that the music that there was in the parade was loud enough and clear enough to get these people in the mood.
Good. Cause the music that will get you in the mood.
Thank you
And
very
call
much.
Call the attention of the spectators.
Thank you. Pelado sí lo dejo decir. Okay.
What type of music they had in the parade, Emmanuel? Was it live music, DJ music?
No, there was
steel band?
DJ music. It was DJ music. You had two steel bands as well.
Steel bands?
Two steel. Sound like if you never watch it.
I'm in the city, man. We are talking about that directly.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, you were in the city. Yeah, well, there were two steel bands.
How was there?
Oh, their performances, I always enjoyed them. Always enjoyed them.
Were those steel bands large groups?
Of course they were, and I particularly congratulate one of the, I think it was the second one. I don't know the name of the steel band, ladies and gentlemen, but I do recall that going, down Main Street, up Main Street, from Banquitas towards Casa Económica. I was over by the Cowards, right by my sister's in business.
That's up.
And I saw this group that was the second group on the parade, but I could see that, good Lord, they were having fun. They were having fun.
You mean they're playing on a lively?
That's right. They were lively, and they were, you know what impression I got? I wish I was in there along with them. They knock up something.
It's so like you're never in the mood, but then get you in the mood.
Of course they were. Of course they were. Especially when I saw two Oriental-looking girls on the right-hand side of the truck, and they were playing the pan. And I think there was a white guy who I would believe is an American also playing in there. And I thought that, yes, we like the intermingling and appreciate their appreciation for the steel band music.
Good. And that's live music?
And that's live music. Man, the groups were fun too. I'd like to congratulate all the sponsors, because I think that sometimes we go there and we don't understand that
things cost money.
Hello, somebody had to pay to bring these groups. Somebody had to do something, get their food and get everything so that we can have the fun of watching these groups. I'd like to congratulate the Choir Brothers and commend them for a job well done.
That's the Choir Brothers.
Yes, from Caribbean Rum. Fantastic job. Okay? I do know, and there was a traveler's booth as well, with the Queen of the Bay. But all the organizers and all the people who were there, I'd like to offer my congratulations. It was a job well done in my perspective. And we had also the Queen of the Bay there, and we had Mrs. Terry. Which one do you think? We had our Queen of the Bay.
Our Queen of the Bay.
Thank you. And we had all the revelers, and the only other thing was that, I'd like to congratulate the tumblers as well, who did a fantastic job. I saw one tumbler spin and 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 spin. Like he did like 15 times. I'd never seen that before. Never. Ever had I seen that before. Not even the circus. And the guy did a number. He was,
Did the Mexicans come?
If the Mexicans came, yes. A lot of vehicles, and they did their band, but yes, they were here. Just let me put it this way. Yes, they were
participated,
here.
Right?
Yes, they participated in the parade with their normal band. That's their participation.
Right.
You
But
know?
it's good. It's good. It's good to know that they were here.
The band is what they well, again, what else can they do?
Yeah. How will it come to the official part of the parade? We usually have officials marching.
That was the organizing committee, the town council, and all the PUP supporters in one group at the front. And then there was also the current members of government and the supporters of the United Democratic Party a little behind.
So there are two different crowds then.
Two different crowds, yes. You know?
I may believe that everybody may have just marched together.
Oh, I wish it were so, but it did not happen like that.
Right. And then, Emmanuel, you see, things, Orange Walk already has this big hype and calling for people. I'm not saying to call people, but it's a calling for people to come to Orange Walk when it comes for the 21st of September parade.
I don't even begin to estimate the amount of people that were here in Orange.
Well,
but from what I gather, it was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people.
Well, let me tell you something. Coming from Belize City, yesterday evening, I left Belize City around 6 o'clock. And so many vehicles were on the road. So I told Julie, start counting when we were at Biscayne. And from Biscayne, right to around Landis and Sons, from Biscayne coming this way, we count 697 vehicles going back to Belize City.
My God,
From Biscayne.
697.
And that because we never started to come
From Belize City.
From Belize City, because at least 150 vehicles passed us before we start counting. And that's because we had to take a diversion around by where Keedy Cass live. We had to take a diversion because the traffic was clogging up around that area. So we never get to count all that. And that are the ones where gone, that are what, south. And then we don't know how much gone back to Corozal.
And this includes buses as well, right?
Yeah, buses. But the buses was like, probably must about 15 buses. And then vehicle on the road, I must say, them in the combo, everybody was driving moderately.
Orderly, yes.
Moderately.
I'm so glad.
The ones that whenever they drive to moderate are the ones that on the motorcycles. As usual, no? But so imagine, you say, want to have good activities in your community that attract tourism. Not because you are a Belizean, it doesn't count as tourism, you know. Because then people that come to your town, into your community. Imagine with the rest of the conch, it was like 1,000 vehicles that came into Orange Walk. You know how many funds has been generated from that?
Well, how many hotels? I gather hotels were sold out.
Everything was sold out. I got to the smallest one on the 20th night to try to get a room for one of my musicians, and everybody was booked. All hotels, everything was booked to the smallest one. Everything was booked. Imagine how much food sell.
Food, I believe that, next year I feel like put up a little taco stand and sell many garnachas because you're not palangana así grande y freír mis tortillas.
Yeah, or put out a arrachera beef. But Emmanuel, it might sound surprising.
It is a wonderful opportunity to sell food because people come and they like the Spanish food. They like the tamales and they like the salbutes and the tostadas and the garnachas and the tacos, not to mention, because we're tired of Chinese fried chicken over at Belize. That's the first thing they tell you.
Yeah, but one of my friends that came all the way from Mango Creek, he called me about 7:30 on the 20th night, and he said, bring some food for me. I tell him, I got a lot of food out there. I don't want none of their food out here. He said, bring some salbutes to me, because I want some salbutes. He said, can I walk around and say hot dog, I say barbecue, then I stop walk. But if I walk, I'll leave it more, I find it. But he wants salbutes. So that just to show Emmanuel how funds are being generated into the community.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is very good. So we like to congratulate everybody that was part of this grand celebration. On the 20th night, Emmanuel, it was a big night. It was a very big night. Parties start early. Well, we start jam around 10 o'clock. We stop for the flag raising ceremonies and the fireworks. And when we started jam after that, Emmanuel, man, you could look all around. The choir had their stall beside us, and we were at the center of the park. They had electro songs in front of the town council building. They had Lucy and a New Generation, Arthur Street, and by Fort Collins Market Plaza, there was Cool J's band. And everything with a jam, everything with a jam. When 3 o'clock come, and then you feel it 3 o'clock. But you know what too, Emmanuel? Remember Mr. Chi was here on the Wednesday morning, and everybody where I see out there, they had their plastic containers, right? And the people that were going to serve, because I don't know if them people who sell food and so was permitted to sell beer, but you know, sometimes people do the lead thing. And they tell the people that we could sell you the beer, they want a pint, they say, no, we can't give you no pint. No pint, they have to, and the person say, well, they don't want to say, okay, well, thank you. The Chinese, from the side, me open, I don't know if the Aurora Massini, right there in front of them. Them they sell soft drink, and them they sell, I don't know if them they sell beer, but the time when I got in a soft drink, them they sell, and even the soft drink, them they put it in a cups. You know, so it looked like things was good, but the countdown was good, Emmanuel. The crowd really enjoyed the music of the Happy Cow.
I would like to congratulate, I'll be straight up, whoever it is that ordered the fireworks, if it is the mayor, the council, or there was a committee. I think that the fireworks were absolutely gorgeous. I think that it was about 32 minutes of beautiful fireworks. I was not there at the park, but I managed to watch it. I was very close by.
You were there by your high rise, no?
I was very close by, and I managed to see it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially at certain moments, it was mounting up like a crescendo. And the beautiful thing is that they were throwing fireworks from 2 different locations.
Yeah.
For this, you know, and they would be creating an effect. And that's nice. That's good, because it's for a lot of us who have been to other countries for their Independence Day celebrations, we noticed that the fireworks don't take as long as they do here in Orange Walk or in Belize.
Yeah.
But the fireworks display may last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but then again, it's not one going up and oh wow, and then another one, oh wow. No, it's nothing like that.
It's a show.
Not like that. It's a show that they put on. And they generally tend to synchronize it with the music.
Right.
And I know that in places like in Mexico City and Merida and large areas, you know, they typically choose music. Like in Merida and Mexico City, they use this song El Huapango, okay, and yeah, it's second to the national anthem of Mexico, and in the United States they use so many different songs, patriotic songs, and so on and so on. But it's all done in such a way that you have 10, 20 individual pieces of fireworks going up at a time. And when the music builds up to a crescendo, so does the fireworks. And the first thing that you feel is that your hairs are sticking out on end. In other words, se te está parando los pelitos, because it is such a beautiful feeling. Yeah. And then you have, when it's finished, you hear the shouting of the people, and what we saw yesterday was the beginning, I hope, the beginning of an eventual change or an evolution into what we see in other countries. You know, because I think that it's only because we lack the expertise to do it that way that we don't do it.
Yeah, before we go on a break, Emmanuel, And I know we are talking about the celebration. I'm going to leave it more than one touch
But
on
the
it.
fireworks were good as it was. You know what I mean? I can understand the limitation and the constraints that we're going through, and I believe that they were beautiful.
Yeah, because apart from the celebration, we have information of the Prime Minister's presentation, but we'll take one break and deal with that. But before we go up on a break, Emmanuel, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, the big September Bram, especially when independence came in, used to be Albert and Regent Street in Belize City. Everybody want to go there for this Bram. We were there yesterday, and it had a moderate crowd, but not as packed as what it used to be. I talked to several people. They said, by there, but my family, they're going to Orange Walk. They're going to jam. So people are leaving those events to come here. I believe that the celebration in Belmopan has stepped up a lot as well. Because you know the official Independence Day presentation and ceremonies used to be in the city, but it's moved to Belmopan now. But there is still a presentation or a ceremony in Belize City, but that is mostly concentrated by the city council. Now the official one with the prime ministers and all the dignitaries, that has been held in Belmopan. People always say Belmopan look dead and so, but a couple years ago, we gonna play there and Belmopan step up one lot. Belmopan has stepped up a lot. But, you know, talking about the tourism aspect of this thing.
According to the census, you know, according to the census, and I say this hoping that they're wrong, mind you, that Belmopan got more people than Orange Walk Town.
Belmopan, according to the census.
According to the census.
Well, talking about census, I see people that do census wrong by where we live, and they pass stuff we also, and they stop there.
Me neither.
Yeah,
so I know
what they figure.
I know that wrong. I tell you straight up, when the census wrong.
And Emmanuel, we need to go on break,
yes.
But you know what? I have to guilt myself on this as well, because everybody was so excited to see these fireworks, you know? And when the national anthem play, everybody got their phone ready for see the fireworks, everybody to walk around, paying no attention to the Belizean national anthem. But it happened, you know? So if the call that you did encourage one person to adhere to that and to give respect to the national anthem, you did something, right? So we got a prime minister.
I did actually speak to some people yesterday, and they said, call it out right, Mr. Martinez. He said, I don't instruct me picked them if stand up on, you know. So sometimes we feel like a voice in the wilderness, but it is my hope that eventually we will change. I'd like to also thank all the participants, all the revelers, all the dancers, all those people who made the parade a great success. You say, oh, you don't have to thank them because they were having fun. They came here willingly. Well, tell you what, we must acknowledge everybody's participation here. Some of them worked more than others. Some of the organizers worked more than others. I can agree with that. And just shifting a slightly bit from the topic, but I saw that the organizers did a pretty good job, and in particular the police, because the police was going up and down in advance of the parade in their little vehicles, making sure that the people were not jamming into the middle of the street. And you know how sometimes parents don't realize that they're putting their kids in danger when they put the stroller with their kids on the side of the road, and there they gab up to the back, with the bear in their hands or whatever, and they don't realize that there's a vehicle coming this way, or that there are people passing that way, and they don't know that the life of that child is at risk.
They don't like pay attention to the pick. They write that Orange Walk, Emmanuel. One pick them last, and I believe one me last. So they bring them on the stage to make them come out, identify them. And the one here at Orange Walk, it take most about over 10 minutes before
they realized that the child was lost.
That Belize, 15 minutes we did it, and the person never come up. So the police just gone and talk to the lead boy and so get information, and that lead boy must about 10. Yes, talk to them, and they get the information. But apart from the strollers, the Emmanuel, what some of them people like though, they stand up and they put the picnic, they stand up right front of them. Because they say, once they pick them, they don't want to move the picnic there. So I have to stay here too. But that's not so that work, man. Think about the danger, like what Emmanuel said. You put the life of your kid in danger, and you danger yourself, and you're endangering others, and you have, you open up I don't call it an opportunity or a situation for probably somebody to come in a vehicle and might knock them picnic.
Who did they knock first? You or the picnic? The picnic? Well, you could take the lick better than the 5 or 6 year old.
Yeah, but you can avoid that.
You know what I mean? Just little things that we notice, ladies and gentlemen, little things that we notice, and which were obviously quite wrong. But let's not detract from the good things. It was a good show. It was a good parade. Congratulations to all the organizers, the participants, all of the sponsors, all of those people who sometimes go unnoticed. You know what I mean? All those people who helped because I saw people running with gallons of juice in their hand. I saw people running with bottles of rum in their hand to ensure that when they get to the other end, they have enough drinks to give out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all part of the enthusiasm that we saw. You know what I mean? Now, they weren't forcing anybody a drink on anybody. It was, if you want it, you take it. You ask for it. So it was there, available. They were not giving it out. So it was being offered. I mean, it was being given to people who asked for it.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, they'd be left with it entirely.
Emmanuel, one next thing I need to mention before we go on the break, the situation, some people's family gathering or their life or how they live, that was a funny thing, and some people just take life for granted. When I was coming from Belize City yesterday, it already made it get dark. There was a motorbike in front of us, passing the Boom Kotaf, and he overtaked us right on that bump at Boom Kotaf. So I never really see exactly who made up on a bike, but I see one lady at the back, and the lady made the whole on picnic with one in hand. The lady don't got no helmet, and the next hand, in the whole lamp on the bike. But when we pass them, because it looked like they slowed down with something, the person, the man with the drive the cycle, he had two picnic front of him too.
So there were 5 people in it?
Yes. 3 picnic and 2 adults on one bike. And he already dark. So he drive the bike, he got 2 picnic, one behind him and a lady behind the next picnic.
My God.
Sometimes I say, man, we need to reach home, so we have to carry them. Or we're going somewhere, we have to go drop them off. But man, that's another way to do it, man. Because with a cycle, you don't have to crash, you know. You don't have to crash into something.
They can crash into you.
Yeah, they could crash into you, or you could run off of the road.
But I would say that if you're not that far from where you're going, take 2 trips, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make 2 trips. But you can't be risking 4 people's lives just because you want to save on half a quarter gallon water gas.
And your life too.
It doesn't work.
Because it's harder for you to conduct that motorbike with 5 persons on it. Understand?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on a break. It's 6 minutes before 8 o'clock, but we'll be right back with more after these messages.
And you got a Prime Minister presentation,
Yes,
right?
sir, we do.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Get serious. Get pop.
Compañeros patriotas beliceños, es el gran gusto de Rapidito Loans desearles todo lo mejor durante estas celebraciones septembrinas. Como país soberano y independiente, ya vamos celebrando 36 años desde ese primer 21 de septiembre, cuando la bandera beliceña fue elevada por primera vez, señalando que Belice ya había logrado su mayor sueño, la independencia. Por esta razón, Rapidito Loan se une a celebrar con todo beliceño y les ofrece los mejores arreglos para sus empeños de valor, como también grandes ofertas con el mejor servicio. Ven a visitarnos y te aseguramos que vas a encontrar esa prenda que siempre has estado buscando al mejor precio. Otras casas de empeño te prometen tanto, pero Rapidito Loans siempre te cumple. Recuerda, Rapidito Loans siempre está ahí a tu alcance para cuando más lo necesitas. Rapidito Loans. Visítanos en Orange Walk, San Pedro, Corozal, San Ignacio y Dangrida.
The new Belize City Civic Center is taking shape at the foot of the Balkan Bridge and is expected to be completed by December 2017. This multi-purpose mega facility will boast an air-conditioned interior with a seating capacity of 4,500, a FIBA-certified wooden main court and 3 practice courts, offices, media boxes, and multiple locker rooms. Another basketball court with 24-hour access to the public and parking for 200 vehicles. This $34 million investment highlights a new era of world-class sporting infrastructure for the entire country of Belize. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
The sunny days are here, and whether it's for a picnic or in your kitchen, you need the meat. Gillette's Meat Shop proudly offers a variety of juicy cuts such as processed meats, ham, bacon, salami, longaniza, and sugar cure ham, just to mention a few. Enjoy our meats in beef, pork, and mutton. So for that healthy cut your family enjoys, visit us at number 18 San Antonio Road in Orange Walk from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 12:30 and 3 to 5 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Place your orders at 322-3486 or 322-2175 or even 610-4061. Send us an email at derekgillett31@gmail.com. Gillette's Meat Shop, fresh and processed meats.
They see you and how you're living. Always a star. Yes, you live in color to the limit. Large and in charge. Yes, that's why you rock with Buster. Refreshing range and colorful flavors. Always a star, never the audience. You run things never run yours. Yes, you are the life of it, not just a part of it. Your life is never black and white. Live in full color. Buster. Las 8 cilindros. Eres adrenalina disfrazada de aleación de aluminio a 8000 revoluciones por minuto. Así como así. ¿Será el cigüeñal? Una limpieza de inyectores, un cambio de aceite. Vas a correr con libertad, campeón.
Los que entendemos al motor como si tuviera voz, hablamos máquina. Rosras, poniendo el mundo a funcionar.
Ahora distribuido por German Vega and Sons. Búsquelo en tu tienda favorita.
Northern Medical Specialty Plaza has been offering excellent health services since its inception in 2000. Today you can enjoy a wide range of medical services through our experienced doctors and dedicated friendly staff. No need to go to Belize City or Chatham Mall. Introducing our new state-of-the-art CT Scan 16 slides, now available at Northern Medical Specialty Plaza in high-definition technology, computerized tomography. Also available, ultrasound 4D scan, which shows moving 3D images of your baby. We also provide services such as mammograms, X-ray, clean and safe nursery, certified pharmacist, operating facilities, our 24 hours emergency and hospitalization, high technology research facilities. Our motto has always been to serve our community with compassion, quality, and affordable medical services, specially supported to serve you. Visit us today at Orchid Drive in Orange Rock Town or call us at 302-3708. Northern Medical Specialty Plaza. Your health is our priority.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. It's exactly 1 minute after 8 o'clock, and we were talking in the first segments about the celebrations here in Orange Walk, and now it's our turn. It's time to turn our attention to the official ceremonies and the remarks by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dean Oliver Barrow. Just quickly, ladies and gentlemen, now, this happened in the morning of the September 21st. For the official 21st September celebration, so the official Independence Day celebrations. And this is when you have the Governor General and the Mayor and the Lord Justice and all the excellencies of the embassies, and this is an important event when the Prime Minister takes time out to address the people who are gathered there, and also of note that the leader of the opposition is given an opportunity to speak about that. We had heard from John, and we had heard from other people saying, oh, take this opportunity to give the speech of a lifetime and blast the government for everything that has been going wrong, and so forth and so forth. And I don't know if that happened. I honestly did not listen to the leader of the opposition's speech. It may be that he did exactly that and more, but I did listen to a part of the Prime Minister's presentation, and I thought that he made some very important comments. I do have a copy of it already.
You read it already?
I have read it already, and it's not as if I'm going to read the entire thing all over again. But this is the 2017 Independence Day Address, Checky, by the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Dean Oliver Barrow.
You know, a lot of people, and I interrupt you from the presentation, but you know a lot of people may hope for here, if the Prime Minister may give holiday today. like what happened Friday. I said, I hope the Prime Minister give a holiday tomorrow. And some people want to know what kind
Wishful
of
thinking.
What kind of goodies what the Prime Minister
Well, what
give?
happened is that we used to a lot of holiday.
You got too much holiday, I believe. Sometimes I say, what?
Just to read it exactly so you understand the importance. Your Excellency the Governor General was there, Sir Colville Young and Lady Young, the Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin and Leader of the Opposition and the Deputy Prime Minister and the Mayor and the bishops and from all the different churches and members of the clergy and excellencies of the diplomatic corps, members of the consular corps, and also special guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And this is how he began. Before I begin my address proper, I wish to offer condolences to our sister countries in the Caribbean on the destruction and loss of life suffered in consequence of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Belize will join the rest of CARICOM in doing whatever we can to help. I also extend solidarity to our neighbor Mexico, as that great country seeks to recover from the double blow of 2 earthquakes in as many weeks. And then the presentation. Last year, he says, at this time, I lamented what appeared to be the fractious state of political and social relations, meaning we seem to be fractious, in other words, broken up, and social relations in our Belizean democracy. The 2 major political parties were going at it hammer and thongs. The religious community was split, and the labor movement was polarized. So, I had hoped to have been able to report differently this Independence Day. I had hoped. But in once more surveying our Belizean scene, that phrase about the more things change is what comes to mind. And obviously, the more things change, the more things remain the same. That is because I'm driven to concede that factionalism, though differentiated now as a subject area concentration, is still unabated. In other words, we may be doing now, fighting for different things. Okay? But the factionalism is still continuing unabated, and it's still rampant. The divide between the traditional churches and at least one iteration of the evangelicals seems to have become a chasm. A particular union wrangle with ethnic overtones was in what we had long since come to regard as our post-racial society was unedifying. And with the approach of municipal elections, partisan rhetoric, violence of language and attack has become even more unhinged. It is salutary, therefore, to have been called to unity, uplift, and patriotic fortitude by this year's September celebration's theme. Again, confronting challenges, celebrating triumphs, and renewing our resolve. You see how smart this man, how he has come up and he has gone from one to the other, from one thought to the other to the other. Our challenges, one challenge we are successfully confronting is the challenge posed by last year's cyclical economic downturn. I therefore record with great satisfaction its reversal. And I'm happy to say that national output is once again burgeoning towards the $4 billion mark, providing employment for some 110,000 Belizeans. Foreign direct investment, which has averaged over Belize $400 million since 2008, is set to increase even more. And there are 25 major private sector projects in different areas poised for implementation. 25. The 7.8 expansion between January and July of 2017 mark the continuation of a remarkable run in the industry that is the greatest driver of our economy.
Wow, within 6 months.
For it came on top of a 13% spike over 2015. Well, there's a little number here, on top of 2013's, 28. But there's a little printer's devil there, which spiked and distinguished 2016 as Belize's best year for tourism in over a generation. With this kind of annual growth, we have now become one of the top destinations in the region. And he continues. 2016 also saw the breaking of our cruise tourism records, and it is now confirmed that for the first time, Belize hosted over 1 million cruise passengers.
Wow.
You know what it is?
Over 1 million.
Over 1 million. And at first, many, many years ago, when we were just beginning with the cruise industry, and we looked at Jamaica having, over 1 million and 2 million and so forth, and we go like, oh my God, when will we ever reach to that stage?
Or if
We're
we are reached there.
slowly reaching there, ladies and gentlemen. $20 million. And these people are creating lots of business opportunities. In other words, there's jobs because you're creating all of these things. Although there might be a lot of people who are saying, oh, but the Belizeans are left out of these things. Oh, but then you have to do certain things. You know what I mean? You have to fight with your not fight, but you have to unite as a body along with the other people and get yourself heard until you get in there. But it makes no sense just to complain. Do something about it. Do something about it.
But there is a big population of employment in the tourism aspect here in the country of Belize, Emmanuel. So a lot of people.
Well, we know the context into which some of these protests were made. A lot of it was being pushed by the opposition party itself, because some of the very members are members of the PUP. Straight up, I'm telling you. And they took that as a simple opportunity to blast the government.
But then some of them women up and they're opposing of this tourism thing in the south. Then they're in a play right now. They got their business where they make money.
Of course.
And then they oppose this thing. And then they're right that they make money now. But see, money goes back. Because you see, like we have the group like Oceana, we have the Audubon Society, a lot of different group that works to protect our natural resources in our country. And then sometimes people vex. If we don't have nothing for people say, they're not the choir,
Mm-hmm.
They're not the choir. Just like how a lot of people, so many people came to Orange Walk yesterday because we have something good going on.
And it's a safe place to come.
They're tourists, they come to this country to say what we got.
And like I said, one of the positive things that we're not hearing much of, we heard some of, was of the decision by the government to put a permanent hold on offshore drilling. In other words, to put a moratorium on it. I said, hey, we're not considered for forever. And this is a big, big, big thing, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't think that the media is taking it anywhere. I don't think that enough, because all those people, the first thing they will say when they were saying when the government was pussyfooting with the idea, oh, but we're not doing enough to preserve our resources, we're not doing here. And then when finally the government gives them even more than what they were asking for, you don't hear a thing from them. Yeah. What about all those natural resources managers and all of those people who had been very vociferous at first, very vocal, blasting the government for this and blasting the government for that? Where are they when it comes to not praising, because we don't want them to praise, but accepting the fact that the government of Belize did a wonderful thing in putting a moratorium on offshore drilling.
And there was a big consultation in San Pedro before that, and people get up and people talk. You know, the
And the
minister
people
was-
of San Pedro, yes.
they come out and they do their presentation and make their nice, you know, which is good. Good, because you come out and fight for what you got. So we need to protect what we got. Because if we don't got it, then people now come back, because people they come to see what we got.
Okay. To continue, it says, of course, there will be repercussions for us from Harvey and Irma. We naturally sympathize with all Americans affected by these storms. And since the U.S. remains the single largest source of our investors, also visitor flows, with Houston and Miami two of our most important gateways, Harvey and Irma also contribute setbacks for us. However, new dedicated marketing in Europe and the start of direct flights from Canada make us confident of the quick resumption of our phenomenal tourism success. And one more important ingredient is the job multiplying, benefit creating formula is the fact that we are working on the establishment of 2 international airports. And this is where I went, what? I had heard of 1. Thank you. You asked the same question. 2? The one at Bassel Jones in North Ambergris Caye is a while away from becoming construction ready. So, we're not. But the long interrupted work on the Riversdale Airport near to the fabled Placencia Peninsula will, according to the developer, restart momentarily. So there is an airport forecast for Placencia and an airport forecast for North Ambergris Caye. The one with the Placencia coming more, reaching, becoming more plausible within a short time, rather than the one at North Ambergris Caye.
Emmanuel, before I go further, I think you need to explain to some people out there the difference of an airstrip and an airport. Because they might say, oh, but plane don't they go to San Pedro, plane don't they go to Placencia.
Well,
Why?
you know, a lot of tourists want to have direct flights from their destination from their origin to their destination. And a lot of the tourists that come to Placencia and to San Pedro would love to be able to have a direct flight from Houston to San Pedro, saying they don't have to go to Belize City and then catch a flight from Tropic or whatever, or a boat or whatever. They're flying directly to San Pedro or to Placencia. You know, and we're talking here jets. We're not talking here Smalley Chinchy plane. You know what I mean? And not only large jets, but private jets as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean Chinchy jets in any derogatory manner, but very simply, smaller jets. That's the general reference.
And then maybe probably could be that some of the airlines that will be coming in, now when you're buying your ticket to go to the US or to Europe or anywhere I go, maybe some flights out of San Pedro might be more economic than the ones out of Philip Wilson. And maybe the one for Placencia, it will cost less as well. So you could go to San Pedro and you fly from there to the US. Or
well, what also opens up is that because it's a destination already, then you can also have the possibility of all these excursions coming in from different countries. So there's a direct flight from Germany to San Pedro, and they're all excursions. You know what I mean?
Yep.
People who, they give you the flight at a much cheaper price. No frills, ladies and gentlemen. And people say, I don't care about you giving me food and so forth. I don't care me sandwich and thing, and that's it. You know, it's a no frills and half the price. But all of that is possible when it comes to the flights going directly to the destination.
And so people might realize that right at Belize, Emmanuel, sometimes there are purses on standby, you know. Most of the days, their flights from Belize, they're full.
Yes, yes. And on the cruise side, our cup run it over. The definitive agreement has been signed with the Michael Feinstein Group for a $125 million stake bank docking facility. And so has an MOU, which is a Memorandum of Understanding with Port of Magical Belize. Well, I don't think we know enough about that. The latter is for alongside berthing on a parcel of coastline just south of the Seboon River and not too far from Belize City. It is a $150 million project, and together the two initiatives should create 1,200 full-time jobs. Well, I'm talking big money here and lots of promises, ladies and gentlemen, lots of promises. I'm just hoping that these promises come to fruition rather than being very simply empty promises. Agriculture is, of course, our other economic mainstay, but 13 months ago we were assessing the damage from Hurricane Earl and lamenting the fact that this important sector was hardest hit. Indeed, there were direct economic losses of $75 million Belize dollars. Today, though we see that the recovery has been steady and confident in the sector is high, our officials have been busy securing market access to CARICOM for poultry, beef, and direct consumption sugars. Arrangements for duty-free export of live cattle to Guatemala has been completed, and the first transfer under the program took place in February of this year. I didn't know that actually they had begun and did the first transfer. Western Dairies also marked its 50th anniversary, celebrating impressive growth in non-traditional industry and having recorded 2 export cycles of ice cream to Grenada. Earlier in the year, quality poultry products from Spanish Lookout obtained HACCP certification for their quality production facility. This was followed by a similar accomplishment in May for Caribbean Chicken of Blue Creek, and these certifications now clear the way for both facilities to export to CARICOM. Okay, I'll pause there a little while, and I will just give you my personal comments. I have nothing against Mennonites. I think that these people do a wonderful job in the work that they do. They are hard-working farmers. They know how to work together. They don't bring each other down like Belizeans do. As soon as I say checking they go up the ladder, I will try to drag them down by foot, by pants, by tennis, by anything, because he can't get more money than me.
Or broke down the ladder.
Straight up, I tell you, we Belizeans are just like that. Envy kills us. Envy kills us. Jealousy kills us. And that is the main reason why we as a Belizeans will forever be watching and watching and watching, while others who can manage to work together as a team will always prosper above us. We don't know what it is to work together as a team of Belizeans. We just don't. I see now that companies like Caribbean Chicken and Quality Poultry are accessing now the export market and are forecast to be exporting in the very near future because they have the HACCP certification. And companies like Western Dairies exporting ice cream and so forth. The question is, why can't our local Belizean people begin to do the same? Why is it that we don't have a local a chicken processing facility owned by Belizeans? Why is it that we don't have an ice cream production facility owned by Belizeans? Why is it that we don't have a cattle or a meat processing facility owned by Belizeans? Is it because all we can know how to do is to cut cane and to grow sugar cane? Is that it? Why can't we grow why can't we begin to think beyond that? You have any observations here, Chicky?
No, I understand what you say, but you see what happened is, Emmanuel, some people not like take that risk. More say, I don't spend so much money.
But why is it that the Mennonites like to? Do you think they like to take the risk?
Well, then they're in a business. And they say far, because.
Oh, then why can't we see as far as them? That's the question.
Why? Well, I don't know if maybe we don't have the amount of resource, but if you figure it out, Emmanuel, these products that these people are producing, when we talk about Western Dairies, quality poultry product and Caribbean chicken, we barely have people where they in on this type of basis that they could send out things. We got ASR, we send the sugar out, but what happened is the one we mentioned about the meat processing, we have a lot of Belizeans where they in a meat processing. We have Gillette Meat Mart, we have Running W, we have a thing Smiling Meats, all of them people there. But I don't know if they figure that they don't want to come up on larger scale and went in there and they are comfortable in their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. But let's begin. It says in aquaculture, and I think that what I was referring to was scary in Orange Walk, because we see other things going on in Kaya with Running W. But let's get to that. In aquaculture, there is still a problem with the early mortality syndrome that has been plaguing our shrimp industry since 2015. Efforts therefore continue at genetic improvement, biological control, and enhanced management practices to combat the scourge. Balancing the aquaculture picture somewhat, though, has been a success in tilapia production and export. Fine Catch, the successor entity to Fresh Catch, has turned things around in just 3 short years. They are now selling to Walmart in both Mexico. Oh, it's Fine Catch, the successor intended to Fresh Catch. What you know that Fine, F-E-I-N, has a distinct similarity to one of the more prominent families in Belize City. Okay? Mm-hmm. They are now increasing the number of their ponds by 31 to make a total of 122, and will produce around 6 million pounds of live fish over the next 12 months. The banana industry recovery from last year's hurricane is also on track. There are, though, certification problems with new farms, and the non-implementation of the required dredging to improve access at the Big Creek port is also an issue. Both difficulties are solvable, however, and the longer-term prospects remain good. I do believe that we're just about the time when we need to take a break.
Yep. Yeah.
It's 27 minutes after 8 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm reading here is very important, especially as it relates to the discussion that we have about it, because the whole point is to encourage people, encourage our local Belizean farmers to grow more, work the land, and don't wait until others come in to do it, because we will go perpetually on the, we'll be left with our chins in our hands, and we go like, ¿y qué pasó ahí? ¿Cómo él lo puede hacer y nosotros no lo podemos hacer? Let's begin to work together. But we'll take that break and we'll be right back with you.
Be unlimited with Digicel's new Data Plus postpaid plans. With the nation's first unlimited plans, you now enjoy unlimited talk and text for free with more data all day, every day. Plus, if it's data that you crave, all our plans are now fully loaded. With even more data, up to a whopping 25 gigs monthly. No, there's no limit to what you can do. It's time to live the unlimited lifestyle on the bigger, better network. No limits, no restrictions. Be unlimited with Digicel's fully loaded Data Plus postpaid plans. Visit a BTL office to sign up today.
The bigger, better network. Digicel.
first two phases of the Hummingbird Highway Rehabilitation Project from the Belmont Roundabout Junction to Saboon Bridge and Alta Vista Bridge to Dangrika Town has already made a remarkable difference for commuters and residents alike. These first two phases are a $16.5 million investment by the government of Belize. Under this project, the highway is being rehabilitated through improvement of the road pavement to create a safer environment for the public. Improvements, especially in the areas that pose a high risk to motorists, include the introduction of paved road shoulders, high visibility line markings, reflective road studs, bus laybys, and other features that will bring the entire road segment in line with internationally recognized standards. Additionally, the replacement of the existing single-lane bridges will reduce road user risks. These improvements will increase economic, tourism, and agricultural opportunities, further encouraging the social development of Belize, particularly in the south. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
I love my Digicel 4G LTE data. Between work and school, I have to multitask to keep up. When I'm on the move, I have everything I need no matter where I go. Whether it's research for school, emails for work, or Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube while on those long bus rides, Digicel 4G LTE got me covered. Digicel 4G LTE's nationwide coverage is exactly what I need to get me where I'm going. They're truly the bigger, better network.
I'm about to hit you with the word, boy. The bigger, better network. Digicel.
The Philip Colton Highway between Belize City and the Philip Colton International Airport is getting a major facelift to the tune of $31.5 million. Section A of the highway upgrading project between Hullover Bridge and PGIA is nearing completion at an investment of $13.6 million. Works include construction of retaining walls to prevent erosion, widening of the road cross-section to include paved road shoulders, pavement restoration and resurfacing. The project also includes installation of LED road lighting and safety features such as signs, reflectors, road marking, and improved visibility through the clearing of the road reserve. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Notice to residents of rural communities in Orange Rock and Corozal districts. If you value your health and your children's health, you will dispose of your garbage only at approved sites. The disposal of garbage at any other location is illegal, and if caught, you can be fined up to $5,000. If you don't get caught, you can still suffer health impacts caused by these illegal sites, because illegal dump sites harbor pests such as rodents, possums, and mosquitoes that carry diseases. These can transmit those diseases to you and your children. In addition, the garbage you throw away illegally can contaminate water bodies near your community. The same water bodies you might use for recreation or other purposes. Only with your help can the Department of Environment ensure that Belize's development is safe for present and future generations. You can also contact your local village councils or Belize Solid Waste Management Authority for more information. The Department of Environment thanks you for your help.
Good morning and welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. Bienvenidos de vuelta. We've been talking all the while about making reference to the Prime Minister's Independence Day address. And we're going step by step and we're looking at what all the promises that have been made. And he says, one final note in this area concerns the processed meat subsector. And we were just talking about quality chicken and Caribbean chicken.
And the Western dairies.
And Western dairies. And how many advances they have made, in being able to be export ready at this point. And then we started wondering, well, why is it that we don't have Belizeans? Well, then, here is a Belizean company running double brands, but in Cayo, saying they have taken great strides in the Running W enterprise. Their plan is to build on the limited market penetration into El Salvador and Guatemala, which their efforts and investments have already secured. A potential joint venture with the new owners of Valley of Peace Farms would see the expansion of Running W exports to Central America as only a first step. This is because the parent company of VOP Farms is the 14th largest producer of pork in the U.S. and controls about 10% of the meat packing sector there. And coming back for a moment to the surface of new private sector projects that are on top, I must single out with pride the $96 million BTL investment in its national broadband plan. This is BTL's fiber to the home project and will connect around 90,000 Belizean households over the next 3 years. It will mean a wholesale change out of the current copper wire network and then replacement by state-of-the-art fiber optics. You see, all them wire where they run on street side and belong to the phone company, BTL is going to change that copper wiring to fiber optic over the next couple of years. And that is going to cost $96 million or so. But it's going to drastically change the way we do business on the telephone, or we handle the telephone, because fiber optics can transmit thousands and millions of times more information than the copper wire network.
Yeah, so this fiber can direct into your homes?
Exactly. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the advances?
But Emmanuel, you know, like going to that, people might say, man, why are so much money investing in this telephone company? But we could say, since the government took over Telemedia, man, so many great services came in.
Sugar City Morning Show, good morning.
Very good morning to both of you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
One quick one.
Yes.
I was by ITV this morning, and I observed a student bringing somebody on the bicycle handle on the wrong side of the boulevard. A police seems to live behind the housing site, approached them on his motorcycle, slow down, blow the horn, and signal the guy to jump off the handle. He didn't talk to them, tell them that they were on the wrong side of the boulevard, etc. Didn't tell them anything, but he kind of scolded them by blowing the horn and waved the horn like he get down. He had a female riding behind him on his motorcycle without a helmet. How in the hell he could correct somebody when he broke the law himself? And the officer went on the station the other day talking about these things, and yet the police officers not do the right thing either. You know, this is really bias. If the law could break the law and the civilians cannot break the law, this is a bias, but it's a prejudice. Anyway, thanks.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, that is, you know, you suddenly feel knocked into reality of things.
Yeah. But you don't have to be that everybody in the department to do that, but they always say one spoiled potato way up, what?
Spoil the whole.
The whole bag.
Yes. It says this will permit Belize a level of broadband connectivity to rival any jurisdiction anywhere in the world. In other words, our core data infrastructure will be on par with London, New York, Singapore, and Seoul, Korea. So we're there right up there, ladies and gentlemen. Not to belabor you guys with all this information, but what I would like to go in is as we want to go into an important part of his presentation. And that is, he say, also, April saw the culmination of our initiative to financially empower rather than physically straitjacket our public officers, teachers, soldiers, and police officers. Our refusal to become prisoners of the prevailing orthodoxy our determination to place people above dogma, man over metric, resulted finally in 30% higher wages for government employees.
Increase?
This increase, dispersed over just 3 short years, is without parallel in our region. And this is just an up reminder to all those people who have been vociferous about how, oh, they're not doing this and oh, they're not doing that. Never before have you been given 30% over the course of 3 years. As well, we continue to pour the concrete so as to keep working that miracle of countrywide infrastructural transformation, which we have engineered. Nothing has been more central to that effort than Venezuela's PetroCaribe initiative. This saw us source fuel from Venezuela and in turn enjoy handsome price rebates that served as long-term super concessionary loans. That funding paid for hundreds of miles in streets, drains, bridges, and culverts, resulting in the remarkable transformation and beautification to which we bear witness every day. And here we pause, because we have benefited a lot from the PetroCaribe initiative. The San Lorenzo Road is part of the San Lorenzo initiative money. The paving of the highway all the way into Orange Walk Town is PetroCaribe. The one on San Antonio Road is the PetroCaribe initiative. So all of these monies come, ladies and gentlemen, from the PetroCaribe. So, but we heard last week or so that our country was facing problems sourcing petroleum from out of Venezuela because of the instability in Venezuela. However, we go, it is paid as well for a multitude of sporting facilities now. At the end of last week, however, we announced the suspension of the PetroCaribe fuel and financing agreement. And I think, as a matter of fact, some of the petroleum was being trucked in from El Salvador, okay, by one of the petroleum companies.
Yep, and that caused for the rising of the fuel, right?
Right. So this had to do with a number of issues which had led to the unreliability of supply and forced us to engage in last-minute, higher-cost alternative fuel purchases on the spot market. The resulting increases in prices to the consumer at the pump was obliged us to move. As soon as we did this, though, Venezuela informed that it was sending a high-level delegation to Belize with a direct mandate from President Maduro to fix the problem. That mission came, met with me on Tuesday, and agreed to new arrangements that guarantee reliability of supply and filling by Venezuela of all of our fuel orders. Shipments will thus restart next month. PetroCaribe will roll it once more, ladies and gentlemen, and we thank the Bolivarian Republic for their fidelity to this enterprise. Yep. So, contrary to what we had heard, that the government was suspending the orders from Venezuela because of the instability, because of the sometimes the orders would take long to be processed and so forth, that we had to go to buying petroleum from other sources, which caused the price of petroleum to increase, of gas to increase. Now Venezuela has said, no, we want to continue selling to you. So they have sent a high-level team to Belize. And a lot of people will be questioning, but Venezuela, they go through hard times. What in the world does Venezuela benefit from doing all of this? Well, don't think that Venezuela is a poor country. Believe Venezuela, when you go to Venezuela, the country is rich. The country is stinking rich. Has not only petroleum, but it has gold, and it has iron, and it has diamonds, and it has so much mineral resources. It's not funny.
Emmanuel, but with the price of the fuel that you would go to a gas station in Venezuela I think you made a terminal like one.
Oh, it's about 1 cent a liter or something like that. They sell it cheap, cheap,
So
cheap.
when we
cheap.
buy the fuel,
But that's subsidized for the Belize, for the Venezuelan public.
okay. But when we buy the fuel from outside, the most thing what care of the prices are the freight too.
Well, no, because the gasoline also carries an intrinsic value. In other words, they will sell you at the value of the market. But the beautiful thing is that you have 25 years to pay.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand me?
Yeah. But then
So you could use that money to develop your country in the meantime. And that's the beauty. And the thing is that they're only charging you 1% interest.
yeah, which is like almost zero.
You know? So in any event, however, our own budget and the stability of our partnership with friendly countries and the IFIs will always drive public works and job creation. Next month, I signed the OFID loan for the Halover Bridge replacement, and this will top off the ongoing highway upgrading between Belize City's Button Boulevard and the PGIA Junction. Have you been to Belize City recently, ladies and gentlemen, in the Ladyville area going up to the Halover Bridge? You know, it's a nice piece of work they've done on that road. And now, he says, the total project cost is 107.2 million Belize. I'm going on the opposite direction. There is funding from the UK via CDB for rehabilitation of the Philip Goulston Highway right through to the northern border and including the Ramate Road. The Crooked Tree Causeway is also to be raised and resurfaced, and CDB is to sign imminently for the contract for that scope of works again. So, I pointed to this because the Northern Highway, the Philip Goulston, will be resurfaced, and therefore there will be job opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. There will be job opportunities. Truckers, get your trucks, you know, all tuned up. I'm not telling you that it will begin tomorrow. I'm not telling you that it will begin next week or next year. But believe me,
you need to be ready.
We need to be ready. Okay.
The Crooked Tree Causeway, it's not paving. It said it will be going
lifted.
Okay.
Lifted. So, it says, now Independence Day is no time for cesspool political rhetoric, even if delivered piccolo. So I will not engage in any back and forth with those hurling brickbats and lobbing stink bombs. I therefore do not stop even to point out the Pharisaic nature of a campaign mounted by people whose own horribly disfigured tenure is a matter of historical record. My God, it throw a bomb there. I concentrate rather on the fact that long before any public disclosure, the bad thing is, however, that he writes in such a way that a lot of people don't understand it, unless you're well versed. You know, I consider rather the fact that long before any public disclosure, we instituted leadership changes in the lands ministry. And since January of this year, in a further effort to demonstrate the seriousness of our reform purpose, I have myself assumed constitutional responsibility for lands. Day-to-day oversight has been given to the Minister of State, Dr. Carla Barnett, and her competence, managerial and technical experience, plus reputation for honesty, make her absolutely the right choice. Matters have been moving over I wish to emphasize that Dr. Barnett is the third professional from outside the House that I have brought in to head the ministry since 2015. I conclude today by noting that in this digital and social media age, the work upheaval circulates daily on the screens of our smartphones. I apologize if it's not works or it's a printer's devil again. Televisions and computers. We watch the ravages of the drug war to the north, and to the south, the dystopia of lives perpetually devastated by the culture of the Maras. Further afield, thus we remain tethered to one flag, to one anthem, to one identity. Thus may we hold fast to a Belizeanness that is a light perpetual, ever illuminating our way ahead. And thus may our children and grandchildren continue to be inspired by the greatness of our forebears, of Price of God Goulston, of Ramos and Canul, of Nachacan and Guerrero. All this to enable us to proclaim year after year the integrity of our imperishable cry. Independence today, independence tomorrow, independence forever. Happy 21st day. Y que Dios nos bendiga. That was, ladies and gentlemen. And I didn't read the entire thing, but I made sure that I drew from the excerpts just to make my points clear.
Well, I like to hear about the good news, about the investments. As you mentioned, it's great because it creates employment. It brings job in the tourism aspect. The airstrip, the airport that will be built in San Pedro.
The refurbishing of the Philip Goldson Highway, and we're talking here about a lot of money. Can you believe that? All the way from Leadville all the way up to the northern border.
Yep.
So that's going to be big.
And that's not a 1 month project. That's probably 2-3 years project. So a lot of people have job. Like you said, the people who have the trucks and the mixers and the quarries and so.
But the laborers as well, because they will need obviously all the work to be done by people.
Yeah, because you imagine 2 airports plus the refurbishment of this highway, how many jobs will be available, Emmanuel?
Exactly so. And obviously, we're trying to get the people to understand that if others can do it, others meaning the Mennonites can do it, why can't our local farmers do it as well?
You gotta do
Begin to work together. And some people will be telling you, pero el banco no nos quiere prestar el dinero, pero esto o el otro. I guess that we need to come together and to vent all of these problems and see how best we can solve it. Because lamentando no haces nada. No haces absolutamente nada. Tienes que unirte. Con unión hay fuerza. With unity you have strength. No para pelear algo que esté completamente fuera de orden, pero para hacer un punto político, pero simplemente recordándote de que lo que tú quieres es crear empleos, es crear desarrollo para el país, no para enfatizar un problema porque te han pagado por el favor político. No estamos hablando de hablar mal acerca del gobierno y sus políticas, pues estamos hablando simplemente de ver cómo tú te puedes poner a trabajar la tierra junto con otras personas a ver que este país se desarrolle.
That's right. So, independence come, it was not only about celebration, Emmanuel, you know, but it was by the good presentation of the Prime Minister, bringing good things to Belize. I'm glad to hear that the Petrocaribe will be rolling.
And Petrocaribe is going to be rolling back again. So no mind what people say about how Petrocaribe was bad and Petrocaribe was this. Petrocaribe has changed the way we live.
So a team
in
came
so
from,
many different forms.
A team came from Venezuela to...
Yes.
And I understand they sat with the Prime Minister.
Yes, they sat with the Prime Minister and said, what have the problems been all the while? And obviously the answer must have been that, well, we are not able to get as much petroleum as we want. So now they must have found ways on how best to solve that situation and guaranteed that in the future that problem will be solved. So again, we have Petrocaribe funding on our side. And a lot of people must be questioning, don't think that Venezuela is poor, believe me. Venezuela is a rich country.
And don't feel like when you say Petrocaribe, they are giving it to us free.
No, we have to pay it.
You have to pay for it. So, but like you mentioned, Emmanuel, we need to get ourselves prepared for these type of situations. Because these things happen, these things come and go, and if that may like stayed like how it was announced last week, it may be a drastic change in a lot of people's life.
Well, because we would have had to continue ordering from the Houston area, and you know that area has been ravaged by Harvey.
Right.
And then the political party, the position here was saying, see, the price of gasoline gone up, but Barrow care of the price. Barrow don't care of no price. I wish these politicians would get out of the opposition will get out of their cheap politics and confront the fact and say, tell you what, they don't know borrow care up the price of gasoline. Okay? Yes, it make a lot of money out of the taxes and so forth, but that's what makes the country run, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be having your cake and eat it absolutely free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to pay your taxes. And every single country in the world does that. Every single country in the world does that.
That's the way
right?
the country generates.
That's the way the country generates its funds. Como para pagar a los maestros, como para pagar las escuelas, como para pagar a los trabajadores del gobierno. ¿Qué crees que viene el dinero del cielo? Ya los tiempos de cuando caía mano del cielo ya terminaron, compañeros, ya terminaron.
When the Hurricane Harvey hit hit so hard that Texas, when the prices of the fuel gone up, Texas, people never said that Trump bring up the fuel. You understand?
But you need people to know these things, and you need people to inform us correctly and not misinform us for political agenda, for political convenience. Pero lo malo es que mucha gente lo cree. Y aquí es cuando tenemos que mantenernos informados. Y cuando venga el político con su cuento, decirle, ¿sabes qué? Tú estás hablando tonteras. Pero, cuando tuvimos que ordenar de Houston, se nos subió el precio y no podían suplir. Y ahora tenemos que estar importando desde El Salvador a través de carretera, compañeros. Y eso es caro. Ahora, de vuelta, vamos a estar con Venezuela Petrocaribe.
I don't know if this is an ignorance, but this person said, excuse my ignorance. How has Petrocaribe helped everyone?
What do you answer to that?
Why answer? Mm-hmm. I don't think that no kind of ignorance. I just think that you need to realize and learn what happened, because Petrocaribe has helped. You see, like I was telling you the other day, Emmanuel, when time development happened, some people say, you no puede comer calle. I can't eat one light to put front of my house. But watch about the big development over the country. When we have development in this country, it helps the country, and the country is all of us, so everyone gets help.
¿Cómo crees tú que se hizo la carretera aquí de Orange Walk? ¿Cómo crees tú que se está haciendo la carretera aquí de San Lorenzo? ¿Cómo crees tú que se ha hecho, está haciendo el Belize City Center? ¿Cómo crees tú que se están haciendo los estadios en San Ignacio, en Belice, en Belmopan, en Stan Creek? ¿Cómo crees tú que se están haciendo todos esos proyectos grandes? Estamos hablando de millones y millones y millones de dólares.
So people have said that not help me personally.
But that's behind the point. The point is that they should be able to see that the work being going on, and if at the end of the day, if they don't have eyes to see, then something else is blinding them. And I think it is political fanatism that is blinding them.
Yeah, so make we look on
anybody with eyes is supposed to be able to see.
Make we look on the positive side of things, because Emmanuel rightly says that each government all over the world, they need to collect taxes. So if the next party come in, they just have to do the similar things. And I believe, I don't see no other greater option that we can choose from when it comes to the Petrocaribe, when it comes to Venezuela. If there are more or better, then if it should come to Belize, then we will get it. Mm-hmm. But for right now, it's the Petrocaribe, because if that never come back, we already saw the high increase of fuel last week, Emmanuel. Mm-hmm. Because right now, the regular costs more than the super right now. For some, yes.
Well, it depends on the source.
Yeah, it depends on the source.
It must be that the regular comes from El Salvador over land, and therefore has incurred more costs.
And same with the diesel has risen drastically as well. So, there is ways that the country benefit, and the country is all of us. What we celebrated yesterday, we celebrate our independence, with our culture. We celebrate our people. So when it benefit me, benefit Emmanuel as well. It's not like you say, okay, Petro Caribe come and they got a lot of funds what they could use, but then they never give me nothing. And then they don't fix my street, they fix that one street and me not living in the area, so that no matter nothing to me, that no means nothing to me. I want to feel the love for myself.
That's exactly right. But
it's not so.
We have to begin to think, like I always say, think not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And make us stretch out your hand.
Right. Well, on that note, Emmanuel.
It's 8:59, it's a minute before 9, and it's time to get going.
8:59, a minute before 9. What? You got it well rhyme up?
Yes.
Yeah, so the weekend is here upon us once again, Emmanuel. We want to ask everybody to play it safe for the weekend. You know, usually when we come here on Monday morning, we hear about a lot of traffic accident, a lot of killing, a lot of feud and different things. Last week, Friday, on the news, no, it was Wednesday, we hear a lot of shooting and things were happening in the city. And so, make we hold it down, guys. Make we hold it down, man. That's not really important. We don't have to do that. We never give life to nobody, and we should not take away their lives.
We'll have to thank Maurice and Raheem for being behind the controls. Thank you, Chucky, and thank you, the public, for your participation during the show and for viewing us. Darle las gracias a todos por su trabajo, por su participación. Y también hace ratos conseguimos llamadas. Vamos a estar hablando de eso el próximo show, el lunes, porque es un importante tema, un tema que de mucha discusión. Y estoy cierto que vamos a tener un show muy, muy, muy bueno el lunes. Estaremos hablando acerca de las deficiencias en nuestro hospital y en lo que es el ofrecimiento de servicios médicos. Según ciertas personas, van a estar contribuyendo y queremos, sin embargo, hacer nuestra propia investigación. Compañeros, tengan un buen día. Tengan un feliz fin de semana. Hoy es viernes. Y cuídense, si es que hicieron pachanga ayer, nos da oportunidad de dos cosas, ir a descansar o a seguir la pachanga. Les sugiero que se vayan a descansar. Sin embargo, compañeros, es tiempo que nos vayamos nosotros, ya son las 9 de la mañana, y aquí deseándoles todo lo mejor. Mi nombre es Emmanuel.
I'm Robert Checker Usher, and if you drink up and you say you got goma or kita goma, you look for get drunk again. So drink one nice soup, relax off, eat up today, and make all the alcohol just come out for your system.
Another soup today, no?
What to that Friday? Yeah. Good morning, Anna. All is well. The coffee don't come, but yeah, all right.
I'd like to go visit you, Anna. About 2 weeks. But even if I don't go, we still eat your food.
Yeah, we get, right?
We get.
Yeah, we like to thank her for being up early every morning. So when we had our leave breakfast, they there on time.
Exactly. So.
Like Morris that they pick up, man. My Morris reached there. Everything good. On that note, folks, my name is Robert Checker Usher, and we will see what hasta Monday. Monday, pa?
Yes. Monday will be 21st. 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the 25th, no?
Yeah, so we'll be back on Monday. Have yourself a fine, enjoyable, blessed weekend.
Nos vemos.
Sugar City Morning Show.